IPMNation.com.
Oh, help me. It can't be. Oh. All right. Well, yeah, you figure about 30 seconds. All told. All right. Okay, I can't say it. Oh, I just can't. But if you head over to All Natural Being, head over to allnaturalbeing.com. Let's trade emails. You send me yours. I'll send you mine, and I'll put it in the show notes today. What I just did. Oh, what a dope.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good morning and welcome to All Natural Being. As the announcer says, I'm Brian Brawdy, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the #1 rated morning show. I think we're like day 40 of broadcast. #1 rated show on IPMNation.com, now on iTunes, maybe even on iHeartRadio here pretty quick. Our success, I still believe, is based on one simple, little, teeny, tiny thing. All Natural Being is a show about you. Not the fictional you, but the factional you. The real you. The true you. Not the watered down you. Not the couch potato you, but the real you. The inner superhuman. The all natural being that is you. Prior to all the baggage, prior to all the bling, all the facade, all the scaffolding, all these other things you and I do. Prior to all that, you were born a superhuman. Impeccably human, one might say. And that's why I think this show continues to be #1, continues to grow in numbers, because it truly is a show about you. Coming to you from Metropolitan Co-working Space here in downtown Aurora, Illinois, home of 14 Blends, as I've been doing now for going on a couple of months. Fired up to be with you, whether you're listening live, and if you are, thank you very much. I just want to quickly say hello to some folks, to most certainly Patricia, to Jen, to Oliver. I want to say hi to Tammy, to David, Daniela. Have to say hi to Patricia, another Patricia. You two know who you are. So thank you for being with me, and whether you're here live or you're listening to this at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, wherever you are around the world, or you might be listening on the iTunes version. Thank you very much for tuning in, hanging out, kind of like tag teaming, kind of like jumping in with the sport of remembering who you ultimately are. Because I believe with all the craziness going on in the world, everything going on in and around us, I believe that it's time for you to be you. It's time. No more messing around. It's time for you to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be successful in any way you decide. And I think the number one reason that we don't have those things consciously in our lives. Everyone talks about a whole list of ailments, all the cognitive dissonance, everything that goes on in an attempt to bring us down and hold us back. But I think it's one thing. I think you've forgotten the all-natural confidence that comes with you. That's one of the natural resources that you were born with, a sense of unstoppable confidence. Which is why I say all the time, our greatest enslaver, the one thing holding you and me back, is self-doubt. We're our biggest speed bumps, our most formidable roadblocks when it comes to having a happy life. It's you and me. It's popular, it's vogue to point the finger at external circumstances and conditions or people and relationships. But our ultimate jailer, you and me, we're the ones roaming our cerebral, our cognitive cell blocks in our own minds. We're the greatest source of unhappiness. It sits in our own heads. So what do you say? Moving forward, even if it's just for this morning, we could paraphrase Lady Macbeth from Shakespeare. Out, damned doubt. So here's my question. Before we get to the anaerobic aphorism for today, if just for the next few moments, if you could act as if you were totally void of self-doubt, if you truly believed that you were unstoppable, how would you sit? How would you stand? How would you position yourself wherever you find yourself right now? If you knew that you could pull off anything, how would that communicate in your body right now? And after you kind of imagine that, what would you think? Truly unstoppable. Nothing can hold you back. What would you think? Out, damned doubt. No reservations about the results that would come from it. How would you act if you knew? How would you act if you could reconnect to that inner superhuman? It's not always easy, I got to tell you. Want a little bit of you want a scientific rule? Something I did just before the show. One of the ways I address it, right? Because confidence isn't something that we have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's always that situation that presents itself where we go, yikes, holy schmoly. This is going to be a challenge. Do you want to know what I do? Terribly scientific. Make sure you're ready. Whenever I'm confronted by that sense, right before I say out, damn doubt, whenever I'm confronted by that, I take a deep breath and I go, knock it off, Brian. Just give it a quick shot and see what happens, you big baby. And then I stand there for a second and I go, wah, wah, wah. You dope. Try it. And then usually the part of me that doesn't like being called a dope goes, yeah, listen to him. You're being an idiot. Just try it. There's my scientific definition of how I kick my own ass when I'm busy being timid. When I'm busy focusing on everything else other than my all-natural confidence. And I know we're supposed to be kind to ourselves. I get the whole compassion thing, right? Oh, you shouldn't beat up on yourself. Well, there are times I think where we should beat up on ourselves. Not for hours at a day. Remember I said yesterday, I'm a huge fan of stress. I'm a huge fan of worry. The right type of stress, which helps build both mind and body. The right type of worry, constructive worry, factional worry, not fictional worry, right? But the things in the moment, in our 20-second victory, where we find ourselves right now in the labyrinth of life. I'm a huge fan of that stress. All these different classes. Oh, you need a stress reduction. No, you don't. You just got to decide which type of stress are you going to focus on. That's like telling your muscle it needs a stress reduction program. You know what happens to a muscle? It atrophies. Tell your biceps that you're going to sign them up for a stress reduction program. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. And the next time you go to lift your cup of coffee and you can't get it to your mouth because your bicep is atrophied to such a degree that it's forgotten who it is. Tricep doesn't mind. The tricep, the muscle in the back of your arm's going good. I was tired of fighting that bicep anyways. So now, my arms will hang straight to my sides. This is great. Well, not really, because even the tricep, if it doesn't have, right, the antagonist to the bicep, it's pretty soon not going to be digging the gig either. So we don't want to tell our biceps we're going in for a stress reduction program. Just pick the stress. Is it going to be constructive stress, something that helps you tap into your all-natural being? If then, take it all in. If it's the type of worry, the binge thinking, the fictional worry, who wants that worry? Oh, I'd like a worry-free life. What is wrong with us? Oh, I'd like a life free of challenge, free of worry. Oh, that'll be a picnic. So I'm a huge fan, on the record, huge fan of stress and worry. And even if you don't believe that, for the next 20 seconds, what if we give stress and worry more of a headline than it really needs? Oh, we got to get rid of stress is the cause of so many things. No, it isn't. Let me tell you this, stress is the cause of everything great that's ever happened in your life, the right kind of stress. Worry, the right kind of worry, factional worry, not fictional worry, not binge thinking, but deciding to cross the street at a busy intersection, not deciding to look both ways before you do. So you come up, you're worried that a car might be coming, so it's a pretty good idea to look to your left, to your right. Probably don't want to be hanging out, doing sit-ups on a railroad track, unless you look, you listen, you feel for the vibration, see if the train's coming. Not that kind of worry, that's good worry. So I say we should have more stress, more worry in our lives. Because that's what's made us who we are. That's what's built our physical and our mental muscle. Not the craziness, not the binge thinking, not the mashugana. Sometimes, a martial arts instructor from years ago say to me that every now and then, compassion, in order to be compassion, true compassion, it's got to be able to snarl and show its teeth from time to time. Because we're so worried about, oh, we don't want any stress. We don't want any worry, any concern. We'd like life on the beach, laptop lifestyle, never worry about a thing again. Couch potatoes. So the next time someone says, oh, would you like a stress reduction seminar? Ask your bicep. Ask the muscles of your low back. You want a stress reduction seminar? Your low back's going to laugh at you. Doubt, at its base, is timid and cowardly. That's its nature. That's what doubt is. So don't doubt yourself. Know that you can handle constructive stress, that you can handle fictional worry. How do you handle fictional worry? You look for the fact in it. Is there anything here that's good for me to be concerned about? If there is, use it. If there isn't, put it in the rearview mirror. Throw some gravel. Leave it alongside of the road. Right? Sling some dirt as you're pulling out, squealing your tires. Leave it there. When you stand up, when you confidently address whatever stress, whatever worry pops up, it caves. It backpedals. Because it can't handle the truth. Which leads us to our anaerobic aphorism for this morning. Confidence. Knowing that regardless of the storm, you, right there, are the port. You are the self-protection expert. You're the bodyguard of your own brain. Everyone's worried about electromagnetic pulses. We're living underneath high-power wires. We're worried about genetically modified foods, food colorings, dyes. We're worried about all these other things we ingest. but we don't pay any attention to what we ingest mentally. We need to worry about our stomachs, but our brains, they're on their own. Our minds, the things that we tolerate from other people in our lives, we're just supposed to suck those right up. On Facebook this morning, I saw a really cool post. I'm sorry, I don't know who put it up. It's one of a little saying. It's up on Facebook, and it says, I think it was, some people suck the niceness right out of you. Why do we let them do it? We watch what we eat, but we don't watch what we ingest mentally. Confidence means you don't have to swallow their crap. Because you know, regardless of the stress, regardless of the worry, regardless of the storm, regardless of the chaos, regardless of the mayhem, regardless of life, because that's what it is, chaos and mayhem, right? Regardless of life, regardless of whatever the labyrinth throws at us, the ups and downs, lefts, rights, pivots, swerves, shift happens. Regardless of what goes down in the labyrinth, you are the port in that storm. You know you can handle it. And just for a moment, I can imagine people saying, well, Brad, I don't have that kind of confidence. Yes, you do. You were born with it. Watch a little kid. Watch a 1 or a 2 or a 3-year-old before they've learned not to be confident. Before they've been told 1,000 times, don't do this, don't do that. Before all of that, you never would have rolled over. You never would have sat up. You never would have crawled. You never would have stumbled. You never would have walked, jogged, and then run if you didn't have an innate, an all-natural confidence. Now, to say that it's dormant is one thing, but that doesn't mean it's dead. It may not be normal in our lives to call upon our innate confidence, but we naturally retain the ability to do so. If you and I are still vertical, if you and I are still here in life, if we're still in the labyrinth, we have all the confidence we could possibly need. All we have to do is call on it. So I know I get in trouble every time I say this, but don't pray for an easier path. Just say thank you for the person that you already are. Fascinated by it. Thy will be done. The Tao follows its own path. It is what it is. Bhagavad Gita. Don't run from your duty. Whatever that duty is, whatever the labyrinth throws at you, thy will be done. I've said before, I'm going to send out self-help postcards. And the first one I'm going to send out is called Thy Will Be Done. Now you get to decide, however you decipher the divine, Big Bang or Big Breath, you decide the thou. Thou will be done. So whether it's sacred or secular, science or religion, you decide the thou. But the will be done part is going down whether you get on the train or not. Fate, our run in the labyrinth is coming at us. We can try to put on the brakes, which leads to all this stress and all this worry. We're saying no to life, at least no to the life, because it doesn't dovetail with what we've constructed in our own minds, how life should treat us, treating the divine like a giant ATM, like a short order cook, cosmic short order cook. Oh, I'd like a couple eggs, over easy, whole wheat toast, no butter. Come on. Oh, no, I didn't want orange juice. I wanted grapefruit juice with my coffee. Oh, please, sir. Please, ma'am, wait right here. Let me go get that for you. That's not the way life works. You have the confidence to go, you know what? I really don't care. I don't care, fate, what you're going to throw at me, because I'm going to look you in the face and I'm going to laugh at you, because I know I have the confidence to pull off whatever befalls me. That's the confidence you were born with. One of my favorite lunatics of all time. I love this guy. He's the French poet, Guy Apollinaire. Absolute. I have to tell you, I am a fan. I am just huge fan of people that channel their inner lunacy. Which, if you study some of these people, are the sharpest minds the universe has ever honed. He had a great quote. He's got two of them. Two of them always jump to mind when I think of him. One, he says, every now and then it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. Just be what we already are. But I don't want to get sidetracked. That's not the one I'm talking about this morning. He has another one. It goes like this. He says, come to the edge, he said. They said, we are afraid. Come to the edge, he said. They're like, oh, no, I'm a little scared. He said, come to the edge. They came. He pushed them, and they flew. That's why I sign all my emails. I'm on your side even when you're not. I say all the time, I'm not here for you. I'm here for your soul. You have that confidence. And whether I push you or you push yourself, you're on the verge of flying when you remember who you ultimately are. Evolution or Elohim? Think you come from a saltwater pond or the palm of a supreme hand? Totally up to you. However you decipher, decode, however you define the divine, you are the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild of that energy. You are a fractal of that universal power and passion. We all the time get caught up in the debate. Well, I believe in this religion, or I'm an atheist, or I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a mama. Enough. Outside of the debate, pulpit or petri dish, you are a satellite of that omniscient, omnipotent, whatever term you want to give to it, however you define it. You're a satellite office. You're a package. A teeny tiny package of pristine on loan from the universal pristine. God, however you define him or her, the universe, however you think it unfolded, it has absolute confidence in you. And you know why I believe that? Because your scrawny little butt wouldn't be here if it didn't. You wouldn't be here if the universe didn't have faith in you. And you know what it wants in return? You know what God's looking for in return? How about a little freaking faith in yourself? How about for the next 20 seconds going, you know what? Brian's clearly nuts. But what? Hold, 1 second. What if he's right? What if I do have this inner reservoir of confidence? What if he's right? If I took myself to the edge and I push myself, what if I did fly? But I've been grounding myself. Give me a big blackout date. But what if I didn't? What if I took the confidence that was given to me and used it? What if I took my natural resources? What if I tapped into my authentic vigor? And for 20 seconds said enough. I'm tired of having my passion on the back burner. I'm tired of taking a second seat to everybody else around me. I'm tired of ignoring my soul, of turning my back on my heart. How would you stand, or sit, or walk? How would you physically move? And then mentally, what would you think? You don't have to gain in confidence. You got to get out of your own way. We do it all the time. Do what I do. I confront it again. What do I say to myself? Knock it off, Brian. You big baby. You big whiner. Get in there. Mix it up. Bring the grit to the grind. Laugh at yourself a little bit. Why laugh at yourself? We'll run to a quick break here, and then I got a bunch of stuff I want to get to from the internet, but why laugh at yourself? Because when you remember who you ultimately are, a lack of confidence is just laughable. You got to go. Oh, please. When you look at yourself, really, truly, look at your own eyes. Stare yourself down in the mirror. Is it your position that you are absolutely devoid of confidence. Oh, well, no, they're in some areas. No. You don't get to fragment it. Are you confident? Yes or no? It's in you. It's our job together as a tag team, you, me, us, to go in there and get that great back. Because that's you. We spend so much time in our fictional minds. Leaves very little time for our factional sense of who we ultimately are. And look, the mind works its tuchus off. If you're awake, the mind is doing everything it can to build this illusion that you can control the future. All you and I can do is control our own cognition in the moment. Inner orienteering, yes? How we're going to handle the speed bumps, the roadblocks. Because there are no dead ends. They're cul-de-sacs. And you decide how you're going to treat it. You want to make it a dead end, it's on you. You want to make it a cul-de-sac, that's on you as well. But you don't have to blame a lack of confidence. You've just decided, for whatever reason, not to tap into it. If you have a car, it's full of gas. If you decide not to put the keys in the ignition and start it up, how far are you going? Don't blame the car. It's full of gas. It has everything it needs to move. But you decide not to put the keys in the ignition and fire it up. Not the car's fault. It's our fault. All right, we're going to go ahead and run to a quick break. We will be right back.
IPMNation.com.
So, got to ask yourself, what happened to my confidence? Why do I feel a watered down sense? Why am I afraid if I come to the edge, I'm going to fall and not fly? It's on you. But ask yourself, it's a part of your 20-second victory. What if Brian's right? What if I do have all the confidence I'm ever going to need? All I got to do, tap into it. That's all I got to do. We have all the potential we could possibly want. What's Thoreau say? Most of us lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with their song still in them. Let's not go that way. Let's not head to the grave. Yesterday, Sartre said, when death comes, it'll be a dead guy it picks up. Why would we actively decide to go to the grave with our song still in us? We don't have to. It's a decision. We can channel our confidence and pull off damn near anything. Just something to think about. All right, a couple of things, 3 stories that I want to try to get to now that we're at the bottom of the hour. 3 stories that I want to get to. Please let me remind you again, allnaturalbeing.com. Leave me your email. We'll trade emails. What do you say? Leave me your email. I'll fire you back an email. And we have kind of some show recaps, some news about the television, the video broadcast that's going to be coming live to Facebook and any other, most any other social media platform near you. It'll have information about the iTunes, what we're doing for iHeartRadio. Oh, and we're going to put a big push, thanks again to you all, for Sirius satellite radio. So we'll have some information about that. Also, some of the things that we talked about. So head over, allnaturalbeing.com. Oh, and the webinar coming up. We're going to have a weekly webinar, private webinar, just for the people that sign up. It's going to be just us. Questions, answers. We're going to work on some 20-minute victories. Work on bringing your own bold. Work on all those things. So that's coming down the pipe here in just a little while as well. So hit me up, allnaturalbeing.com. We'll trade emails. You don't have to worry. I'm never going to sell it. Never going to trade it. Never going to leave it in the backseat of a cab. It's top secret stuff to me. If you give me your email, I'm going to give you mine, and we'll go from there. Also, if you want to reach out during the show, you can call 331 or text. Call, text, either way. I'm good. Probably should text because if I'm busy doing the show, probably hard to take your call. Because remember, I have no producer, no budget for it. I'm just here myself. You see the signs all the time. What is it? 3 guys in a truck. I'm a guy, 2 iPads, and a laptop. That's it. So probably I wouldn't call. But I would text me at 331-684-SOUL, 331-684-7685. Also, Twitter, at Brian Brawdy. Facebook, thanks to everybody. You know, you can send me messages. You can, if we're not friends, I don't know why we aren't. So go ahead, hit me up there, and we can communicate that way as well. All right, let's do this. Because this was something that, three things that really freaked me out. But let's just deal one at a time. I saw this over on Learning Minds. Is human extinction upon us? It says these 4 things could wipe out our species in 100 years. Could wipe out our species. And that's what triggered my mind there. What is our species? Is it all the craziness we see today? All the thin skin? All the crying for political correctness? Is it all the stress? All the unhelpful worry? All the anger? Told a joke the other morning. Stopped to see a friend of mine. I don't drink coffee, can't stand the smell of it, but stopped to see a friend of mine the other morning. To the little coffee shop, little coffee bar. Used a joke. I just something we had been talking about. A person there. Oh, watch the face get all red. The jaw tighten. Gets all offended. It was a joke. It was a great joke. It wasn't anything to be offended by. How did we become so thin-skinned? Is that the species we're worried about losing in 100 years? In my heart, I believe that if you channel your all-natural being, if you're into the concept of reconnecting, reawakening, and reintroducing your inner superhuman to the world, you are impeccably human. And if you look around, we don't have to worry. What are the 4 things? Hold on, I'm sure tectonic plate shifts. Oh, climate change, nuclear war, natural pandemics, and just risks to the planet themselves. Worried about these things. Big volcano is going to wipe out our species. Looks like our species is doing a pretty good job of trying to wipe itself out as it is. Doesn't need Mother Nature, doesn't need disease. Looks like we're doing a great job of wiping our species out. Everyone is so thin-skinned. Everyone treating themselves like a pincushion. And then they're surprised when someone sticks them with a pin. What if human extinction is already upon us? I told you yesterday about going to the dentist. My dentist told me over the last couple 100 years, the human jawbone has begun to shrink because we don't eat tough food anymore. We're not grinding grains. Any of the things. We're eating pudding, tapioca, vegetable gazpacho. So our jaws have started to atrophy. And if not atrophy, then at least genetically or epigenetically shrink. And I asked about our mental muscle. 200 years ago, let's just say it was 100 years ago, I don't know when it was, but when we said sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Now we run around and anyone that says anything bad about us, it derails us. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Look around, friends. That species is already on the verge of extinction. And if you think I'm wrong, take 10 seconds, look at the political debate. Now, this isn't a petition to say everyone shouldn't have, not just here in the United States, but around the world. First Amendment, I reference the First Amendment, not just as a document, good for the United States, but good for everyone. Got to have a right to say what you feel. So I'm not suggesting that anyone should stop saying what they feel. I'm just suggesting we should stop listening. There's also, right, freedom of expression. There's also the freedom to go, Brian, you're being a dope. Knock it off. Stop falling for their BS. Stop letting yourself be treated like a pincushion. Idiot. Right? I look at myself at times. And again, I'll tell you what I did right before. I just can't say it on there. I'm fighting with myself because I want to be honest and tell you, but I just can't. I'm beginning to wonder that our species is already on the verge of extinction. But for those that channel their all-natural being, that use it to infuse their inner superhuman, and then do something with it, do something to know even one life is breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded. Emerson used it. I think he borrowed it from somebody, really. It's the last sentence of his poem titled Success. I think the current trend is he may have procured it from another newspaper article of his day. Still a great line. To know even one life is breathed easier. This is to have succeeded. So after we focus on your one life, you breathing easier by remembering who you ultimately are, by channeling that confidence, by going, yes, I'll absolutely get over this broken heart. Yes, I'll absolutely get over this cognitive dissonance, this unhappiness. Yes, things haven't always gone smoothly for me in the past, but I'm confident to know that has nothing to do with my present. Most certainly nothing to do with my future. That's the confidence. To know that whatever has happened, whatever will happen, whatever is happening, we square our shoulders with it. We don't cower. We don't avert our eyes, put our, see no something, block the vision of it. So maybe if it doesn't see us, if we can't see it, it can't see us and won't get us. We square our shoulders with fate. We don't run from it. That's the confidence you were born with. And if we use that confidence as a judge, our species is already on the way out. So that's why I say every morning, all the time, it's up to you to channel your inner superhuman. Not to run from rough days, because your rough days remind you who you are. Tough times are nothing more than a telltale. They're an opportunity for you to go, nah, bring it. No matter what happens, I'm going to live my life to the fullest. I'm not going to continue forever with this fabricated sense of self. No more head games. Enough. Whatever you got, I got the spine to cover it. I've got the confidence, so bring it. All right, another story. This really freaked me out. We talked very early on, I think it's 39 days, 40 weekdays ago, we talked about how thought experiments, Einstein and others, all of us, everything we create is a thought experiment. We imagine something, and then if we manifest it in the real world, it's the benefit of a thought experiment. So I want to pose this question as a thought experiment. I don't know if you've ever heard of what's called the still face experiment. Look, I wouldn't want to be subject to it. And I'm not saying that anyone else, I don't know how you could find a parent to do this between you, me, and the fence post, and everyone else listening around the fence post. But this experiment, take a 4-month-old, take his mom, I guess you could take his dad, but more importantly his mom, if that's where the bonding has already started. And the baby is in their high chair, their seat. The mom's sitting directly across from them. And as the experiment goes, 4 minutes, I think, is the first level. Baby staring at the mom. The mom, again, don't know who would, but they find moms to do this. The mom, absolutely blank stare. No emotion. No matter what her child does to elicit a response from her. Smile, look her straight in the eye, giggle, tilt its head. No matter what, a part of this still face experiment is for the mom to remain perfectly blank. And at first the infant does what it can. It coos a little more. It smiles a little more. And then, like this would shock anyone, the infant starts to get agitated because it can't connect with its mom. It starts to try different things. It puts its fingers in its mouth. It starts to, move around a little bit. And then pretty soon, it starts to look at its mom out of the corner of its eye. And then soon after that, it just goes melancholy. It's done trying. to reconnect, and it sits there almost as dormant as the mom. So here's the thought experiment. I can't even. It just freaks me out to think that that people could even do this. But imagine for a moment that still face experiment, extrapolate it out. Imagine for a moment that that's what it's like dealing with your own soul, your own spirit. You're born. It knows you're going to need some training wheels, some water wings, some flotation devices to cultivate your own sense of balance, equilibrium. So it knows it has to surrender somewhat to the egoic mind. But then imagine for a moment that we stop responding. We're the mom in this still face experiment, or the dad. We stop responding. We don't smile. We don't engage it in any way. Well, what if this is an outward experiment about what happens to cause our spirit, our passion, our confidence, our inner superhuman? What if this exact thing happens philosophically in our own heads, in our own hearts? And instead of dovetailing, the heart grows agitated and then estranged. Just starts to shut down. Now, as you know, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, a licensed clinical anything. Just a question. What if this is what happens when we turn our back on our own hearts? When we ignore our passion and our confidence to pull off anything? What if it goes dormant? What if it goes melancholy? What if it begins to atrophy the same way these infants do when they can't make eye contact, when they can't get a response out of their ultimate caregiver? What if you and I are the ultimate caregiver for our soul, at least while we're here, of our spirit, of our passion, of our grit, of our confidence, of our buried logic, our authentic vigor? What if we're the caregiver of all of our natural resources? And we ultimately one day just stop responding to them. We turn our backs. What do you think it does to your all-natural being? To your inner superhuman? Now we know that deep down inside, it never leaves us. In this experiment, therapist runs back in, goes cut, time, whatever, experiment's over. Mom starts to interact with the child, and the child comes right back, starts to respond. So what if you and I were to look at it again? Thought experiment. What if we begin to interact with our all-natural being again? Snaps right back. What if we begin to respond to our inner superhuman? Snaps right back. No more melancholy. No more dormancy. When we begin to recognize who we are, the party's on. The party's on. When we remember who we are, all the myriad things, all the different mental, cognitive, philosophical malaise begins to fade away, as it must. Can't take an ice cube out, leave it on the sidewalk if it's sunny and 85 degrees. Ice cube doesn't last really long. Reconnected to the sun. Other side of the blind spot. Other side of the amnesia. You're reconnected to your all-natural being. That's going to melt the melancholy. That's going to melt the ice cube pretty quick. Foggy, overcast, cold, disconnected from the sun. Ice cube will last a little longer. But the moment you remember who you are, who am I? The moment you can answer that question, not fictionally, but factionally, the moment you admit that you are that reservoir of confidence, that however old you happen to be when you're listening to this, that maybe over the years, that sense of confidence, you become disconnected from it. But that disability is of our own mind. At any point, we can recall that ability. square our shoulders, straight up with fate, and go, that's it. No more. I'm here to channel that sense of confidence. And it begins right now. There was another story that I'm looking at, and I was really, when it comes to thinking of everything as a pincushion, it talks about people that are overweight get on an airplane. Now, it talks about seats for obese people. Overweight, get on an airplane. And it says they're more injured by the stares of other people than they are the tiny seats that they're forced to fit into. So if you're a little large, extra large, maybe some would say, a little larger, it's the stares of the other passengers that make you uncomfortable. So let's think about that for a second. You know, he was stabbing me with his eyes. It's not the stares that would make us uncomfortable. It's the fact that we left our pincushion open for business. Huge vacancy sign. Come on in. Stick me with your pin. And I'm fascinated by all this shaming that goes on. Body shaming, image shaming, self-shaming. Everyone wants to lose weight. How about if we gained a better, more formidable ego shield? What if we increased the temporal distance, the cognitive distance between the pins of other people and our own pincushion? What if we decide not to be stabbed? Let people stare. Let people talk. We have to internalize their package of information. Now, society, big business, cottage industries of telling us we got to lose weight, we got to lose weight, we got to lose weight. I say we got to gain a greater distance. I say we have to gain a greater ego shield. Now, that's not to say if you're obese or overweight or extra large or whatever it's called, if you think there's a health benefit to shedding some pounds, God love you. May not be. Who knows? It seems like every 6 weeks a different guideline comes out. I heard something last night that says, oh, now stress tests don't even work. So what about all these doctors for years that say, oh, no, let's do a stress test? No, that doesn't even work. All I'm simply suggesting is talk with your doctor. If you dig him or her, if they say, look, it may be a benefit, you shed a few pounds, groovy. Consult with them. See what you think. All I'm asking is, what if we shed a few psycho pounds of fat and flab? What if we shed this belief that other people's pins have a right? If you've studied American history at all, you know of the Monroe Doctrine. No one else is allowed within a certain area of the continental United States. What if you had your own doctrine? No more pins. Stare all you want, freak. I'm not letting your opinion in. And I know it's really cliche, but think about it. O-pin in. Don't let their O-pin-ins. It's a pin. You don't have to get stuck with it. Now, a part of this report says, oh, well, everyone's humiliated from those stares. It's on you. Why would you let the stares of someone else humiliate you? Why would you let that experience become unpleasant or embarrassing? Why? Why let other people's opinions of you matter? Have the confidence. Now, people will say, well, there's a debate whether it's genetic or whether it's this or that. I don't care about any of that. Couldn't care less. Neither should you. You know in your own heart what the gig is. Why have to come up with an alibi? Why have to defend yourself to anyone other than the mirror? And by mirror, I mean looking in your own eyes. channeling your own confidence. But don't let the stares of other people derail you, because ultimately that's on you. It's on us. Well, I heard people whispering about me. It made me uneasy. It's on you. Made me uncomfortable. On you. Because you chose in that moment to adopt that philosophy and that physiology. But when you channel your own confidence and you realize you'll make it through the day regardless of the committee vote. It's what I love about time alone in nature. No matter what nature throws at you, you know you'll be able to pull it off. No matter what. Confidence, knowing that regardless of the storm of opinion, the storm of critique, the storm of the weather, whatever it is, regardless of the storm, you are the port. You are the place to go. You are confident that you can handle anything. Oh, this really hurt. That caused me to have a broken heart. That really derailed me. No, we do it to ourselves, you and me. And we get to a point in our lives where we have to say, why do we keep doing that? Remember my very scientific, if I could, maybe I'll come up with a Latin phrase that basically just says, knock it off, Brian, you're being an idiot.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh, they said some very nasty things about me.
Tough. You don't have to let it in. Just something to think about. You were born with natural resources. It's a part of you. And most certainly that confidence is a part of that bag of resources, that bag of tools that you have to be thrilled with life. So let's not give that up anymore. So let's use our 20-minute victory today. Let's dedicate ourselves to being the guardian, the true guardian, the true provider for our own inner superhuman, for our own soul. And if you are the ultimate caregiver for your own soul, what would you do right now for the next 20 minutes to let it out, to let your passion, to let your confidence out? What would you do? How can you do it? The first way is to increase that distance, that temporal distance. Build a formidable ego shield. So as you're doing this, and you're just on the verge of being confident, ego kicks in. Oh, you don't want to do that. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is simple. Building the ego shield, building that distance, building that moat. So when those thoughts pop up, you can go, take a time out. When the fears of walking up to the edge, when they start to pepper you with all the possible things that could go wrong, just go, okay, great, hold on, everything's groovy, not to worry, take 5, and channel your inner confidence. Your confidence to be in the relationship that you want, whether it's with another being or within the circumstances, the situations, the relationship of you to your own labyrinth. We build enough of an ego shield where we get to take the time to figure out how we want to respond. Of a negative critique, again, it's not easy. It's a simple, simple, simple process. Have to decide we want to do it. We talk all the time, the best acronym. Breathe in, exhale, scan the horizon, think, talk, take action. As a result of the first 3, take a deep breath. Is this really something I want to let in, yes or no? If it is, God love you. If it isn't, God love you too. But we needn't use that as an excuse to pile on the bandwagon. Other people are going to doubt you. That's their gig. They're going to doubt you. Just don't jump on their bandwagon. And you all know you have people in your lives that are going to doubt you because the doubt of themselves is so great. Their operating system is situated to such a degree that they don't know doubt isn't the way to go. Well, of course you doubt yourself. That's what we do. We're humans. No, that's a part of our species. That's a part of who we are that's on the verge of extinction. It's not you. It's not the impeccable human within you. Not at all. When you remember who you are, your confidence begins to bubble up again. That's what it does. No two ways about it. So today, for your 20-minute victory, if you felt unstoppable, how would you act? How would you stand? How would you feel? And then what would you think? What are some of those things that you've contemplated in the past that you could now look at and say, oh, absolutely, I'm going to nail that. Let's go. What are some of those things? Put them down on your list. Open your journal, your logbook, your evidence blotter. Because I promise you, once you allow your inner confidence out, you'll find opportunities to use that confidence. It's like the yin-yang. It's the perfect universal counterbalance. The more of your confidence you put on the table, the more of the confidence you bring to the deck, the more chances to use that confidence. And then the relationship between you and it grows stronger at every turn. If you feel weak, if you feel scared, if you feel timid or brittle, that's not you. Those are scripts that you've adopted. Maybe even to cover up the fact that for all these years we've been couch potatoes. Maybe that's why we do it. It may be normal, but it's not natural. What would you do? If you could take your confidence out for a walk, where would you go? What trees would you climb? What chasms? What crevasses would you cross? If you did so, fully embraced in your own confidence. People say, oh, we got to worry about the storm. We got to be stressed about it. Nope. Not fictional worry. Not fictional stress. So the next time it says, oh, wouldn't you like a stress reduction? No, what particular type of stress reduction are you talking about? Because when we don't differentiate between good and bad stress, we give it way more power. Oh, you're right. I'm so stressed. Good for you. Oh, I'm just riddled with worry. Well, let's not be riddled with worry. Let's just look at worry for a second. What type of worry is it? Fictional or factional? It's probably not a good idea to ride your bike at night down the street with no headlights on. That would be a legitimate worry. You decide, legitimate or illegitimate worry. Legitimate or illegitimate stress. But we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We just don't say, oh, we want a stress reduction. We don't want to worry as much. If you're worried, if it's good worry as much as you like. If it's helping you to hone, to dovetail your heart and your head, if it's helping you to release your inner superhuman, tap into your all-natural being. I'm a huge fan. I vote for more of it, not less of it. Codify it. Figure it out in your own mind. Never run from it. Embrace it. And if it's a stress that empowers you, God love you. Give me another helping. If it's a stress, if it's a worry that disempowers you, leave it be. Don't sign for the package. All right, my friends, we got to get out of here. It's already coming up on the top of the hour. Thank you so very much again for hanging out with me here at All Natural Being. Whether you're listening live right now or you're going to tune in or are tuning in for the rebroadcast at 11 a.m., kind of thinking out into the future a little more so than I normally do. If you're listening on iTunes, thank you for spending the hour with me. Thank you for investing, not just this hour, but the concept of 1/72nd of your day, investing in yourself to recultivate a relationship with who you truly are. Not the fictional you, but the factional you.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
Don't forget, allnaturalbeing.com. Let's trade an email. I'll tell you how I kicked off this morning's show right before we went live. Have a great day.
IPMNation.com.